morning, Crusaders. I'm Lucas Allred.
And I'm Nicholas Albrico, and welcome to CBN.
Today we'll be talking about clubs, sports, upcoming events, news, and we'll be having an editorial discussion on whether or not the rules of baseball should be changed to speed up the game.
That sounds great, but first we go into Boyd to hear about the current events.
Thanks, guys. And now for some news. This week, President Trump met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un for the second nuclear summit. They met in Vietnam to talk about the denuclearization of North Korea's nuclear program. Michael Cohen, Trump's former attorney, also testified in front of Congress and talked about how Russia helped President Trump and his campaign during the 2016 presidential election. Prior to this, Cohen was sentenced to 3 years in federal prison for lying to Congress when he was testifying. And now for some sports news. Bryce Harper, former Washington Nationals right fielder, signed a 13-year contract deal with the Philadelphia Phillies. This is apparently the largest dollar amount contract ever in sports history, with $330 million for 13 years.
Thank you, Boyd. That was some fantastic news that you gave us.
Here in the studio, we have Tyler and Drew discussing if they should speed up baseball. On to you guys.
Drew Sursa, and this is Tyler Blair, and today we will be debating about the pace of baseball. So Tyler, start.
So over the years, basically, MLBs began to input rules to try to speed up the game to appeal to a younger crowd. Some of those rules, such as in 2020, pitchers will have to face a minimum of 3 batters. They're also looking to include some sort of pitch clock, anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds in between pitches, that you have to throw the ball within that time. They're also, as of 2018, they had added a limited number of mound visits. You could have 6 per 9 innings, and they could only be 30 seconds. And basically, I think they're trying to do this because, the sports like the NBA, NFL, MLS are slowly beginning to grow. MLB was always America's pastime, but I feel like to younger kids it's not as appealing because it's just a slower game and they get bored of it. And new people that are introduced to baseball that don't understand what goes on in between the pitches for the people actually playing the game are finding it boring. So they're losing interest in going to a sport in like the NBA where there's constant movement going on.
Well, my argument for that is that baseball's a game of knowledge and strategic. And when you implement things like 20-second pitch clock and pitchers must do 3 batters, this way the strategic part of the game, like lefties on lefties, righties on righties. And baseball, it's like physics and art. It's to a certain type of people. And if you don't look at the game and understand what's going on and the strategic about it, like who's on base, what type of batter's up, is he a pull hitter, like it's all the strategic stuff, and it's only boring to people who just want to see 3-pointers and touchdowns on every play. But like to most baseball players, it's almost going too fast, and like there's so much stuff going around in one play, and all this stuff, it's just really not needed because baseball is still a great sport.
Yeah, and something I have to say to that is I feel like baseball's kind of slowly starting to do this themselves. Pitchers like Nolan Ryan used to be able to go out and throw 200-plus pitches if they needed to. They could throw, relief and closing pitchers weren't a thing. You started the game, you finished the game, no matter, what the circumstances were. But nowadays, you oftentimes see, injuries obviously more prevalent. And so the pitchers aren't, the team managers and the pitchers aren't working together to try to bring back that longer relief. So, starting pitchers themselves are fading out. You saw with, the Oakland A's last year. Their wild card game started a relief pitcher, in hopes to, change up the game a little bit. But when you do things like that's the reason they have to input these new rules to speed up the game. Because, unfortunately, as the way it is, baseball is a business. MLB, team owners are all looking to make money. And if they lose interest in that younger crowd, there's never going to be a future generation to pass it on to. Therefore, baseball's just going to decline and they're going to lose money. So I feel like they feel they have to input these rules in order to keep the next generation in the game to keep making money.
Mm-hmm. And I see what you say there. But then again, with the younger fan base, a lot of kids play baseball when they're young. And it's either you like it or you don't. And I think kids are going to play it. And regardless of how interesting the sport is to them, they're still going to sit down and watch it because baseball is, as I said, a game of knowledge and strategy. And if you just want to take and make it fast and that's not the game of baseball, and that takes away from the sport completely. And then baseball as Americans' pastime, they're, in my opinion, going to be 2 different sports if you implement these rules, and maybe more to come.
Yeah.
And that's my opinion.
Yeah. All right. That was today's editorial. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Thanks, you guys. These are some interesting opinions that in no way reflect what Althoff Catholic thinks.
Leave your comments in the comment section below.
Next off is lunch. We'll send it off to Thomas. Thomas?
Thanks, guys. This upcoming week, on Monday, we'll be having meatloaf and gravy with a roll. On Tuesday, we'll be having French toast sticks with sausage. On Wednesday, we'll be having orange chicken with broccoli and rice. On Thursday, we'll be having steak and cheese grillers. And on the 15th, Friday, we'll be having a pasta bar. Next week, on Monday, we'll be having a breaded chicken drumstick with a roll. On Tuesday, we'll be having the backyard burger. On Wednesday, we'll be having Papa John's pizza. And on Thursday, we'll be having chicken and noodles with a roll. We don't have any school Fridays, so yeah. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Thomas. Those are some delicious options for lunch. What's your favorite?
I'm going to have to go with the old reliable chicken sandwich.
I'm more of a cheeseburger guy myself. That's all right.
I completely disagree.
You're wrong.
Now we're going to hand it off to Miles for some scoop in on the Student of the Week. Miles?
Thanks, guys. This is Miles Wilhelm here at this week's Student of the Week, Samaya Moore.
Hi.
So, first off, congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
And first question I want to ask you is, do you plan on using any of the awards that you get for winning the Student of the Week?
Yes, I will use it in probably a week or so because I forgot that I had it, but I will use it.
Okay, sounds good. Have you ever won the Student of the Week award before?
No, I never went to the award before.
Were you surprised by your nomination at all?
Yes, because they called my name over in the column. And then I thought they was a column name, but then my teacher said, congratulations. And I'm like, for what? She's like, you won Student of the Week. So, yeah, I was surprised.
Okay, and then lastly, do you have any advice for people that are looking to win this award in the future?
Appreciate it and don't think it's just nothing. And don't think just somebody picks you just because they picked you. They picked you for a reason, and yeah.
Well, thank you very much for doing this interview. I'll send it back to you guys.
Thank you, Miles. Those are some fantastic questions. We do have some amazing teachers here at Althoff Catholic.
Megan is going to be interviewing Coach G with the athletic department. Megan, on to you.
Hi guys, I'm Megan McKenzie, and we're here to interview Coach A. How long have you been coaching?
I've been coaching for 7 years.
What do you like about coaching at Althoff?
I just like the family atmosphere. The girls work hard, and we have a lot of fun.
Okay. Have you coached anywhere else?
I have. I have coached for 2 years at Lindenwood University Belleville as a graduate assistant, and then I went to an NAIA Division II school in Kansas called Kansas Wesleyan, and then I've been here, started freshman, and now I worked my way up to be the varsity coach, so
Cool.
it's been fun.
Yeah. How do players prepare for the season?
Unfortunately, we don't normally get a lot of time to prepare with volleyball being so good.
Yeah.
You know, and they always go to state. And this year we had 2 days of practice with the whole entire varsity team before our first game. So preparing is really just throwing them into the fire and going straight into games. And then, you know, we figure out what we need to work on from there.
Right. What are you looking for in next year's team?
Next year's team is going to be tough. You know, we have a lot of good athletes coming back. Unfortunately, we lose the Sequins.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think the girls are ready to step up to the challenge, and I know they're kind of not happy with how this season ended.
Right.
They felt like we should have won our final game, so I think they're hungry to go further next year.
Right. All right. Well, that's it. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Megan.
At Althoff Catholic, we have many sports currently going on.
I'm going to head this over to Greg so we can hear more about sports.
Thanks, guys. I'm Greg Wells, and as winter sports are coming to a conclusion, spring sports are starting up. And today, I will be interviewing somebody from the track team. Come on. What's your name?
My name is Nick Albrica.
What sports do you play here at Althoff Catholic?
I play football and I run track.
Is this your first year on the track and field team?
It is my first year on this high school team.
Did you run before high school?
Yes.
What events do you participate in?
I participate in a bunch of events.
Which are?
Both hurdles, both long jump, triple jump, and the relays and sprints.
Why did you choose to run this year?
Because the football team made a collective decision to go out.
Interesting.
And we got a coach.
Who is your coach?
Coach Steve.
Doesn't he also coach football?
He does, but he does both now.
Cool. Do you think you guys will have a good season?
I hope so. I mean, shit, we kind of slow in some areas.
What's your favorite part about being on this team?
Oh, that's a hard one. I mean, a lot of parts are my favorite, but I'm gonna have to say the workouts, I guess.
And that was the interview. Thanks, man. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Greg.
Next, we'll be going to Elliot to hear from Claire Hill, who is one of the many leaders of FCA. On to you, Elliot.
I'm Elliot Hoffman. I'm here with one of the FCA leaders, Claire Hill. I'm going to ask her a few questions. So, who is the FCA leader?
The FCA leader is Mike Sanders, who is the cross-country and track girls coach.
Who are the student leaders, and what are their like overall job?
So we have a lot. There's 7 of us. It's me, Abby Harris, Alexa Scheibel, Mary Nestor, Stone Galloway, John Lipinski, and Max Kristoff. And basically, we are in charge of running the meetings. We have to prepare the lesson, prepare the games, and kind of lead small group discussions.
How do you become a member?
Anyone can really become a member. All you have to do is just kind of show up to the meetings.
What happens at one of your FCA meetings?
Usually a typical meeting, we always offer food. We always have pizza, chips, and soda, and all that stuff. Usually we'll kind of start out the meeting with an icebreaker. We'll do like a little fun game, and then we'll kind of break up into small groups and go over the lesson. And the lessons can kind of range from topic to topic, like either like dealing how to bring faith into your social life or how to become a better leader. And then after we do our meeting, we kind of head up to the gym and we kind of play a game like kickball or volleyball or whatever is available.
How long have you been involved with FCA?
I've been involved in FCA for 3 years and I've been a leader for 2.
Is there anything else that you would like to be say about FCA?
We have meetings every second Wednesday of the month and the last Wednesday of the month from 6:30 to 8.
All right. That's all from this interview. See you up in the broadcast.
Thanks, Elliot.
Next, we're going to hand this off to Darius, who's in C1 Lunch doing the Crusader Q&A.
Guys, today I'm here with Dalton Berger, who is a junior here at Alton Catholic. I'm going to ask Dalton a few questions today. Dalton, can you please explain what happened to your leg?
I tore some ligaments and a grade 3 sprain in the game against Chaminade, which we should have won.
Do you know how long you will be out?
A few more weeks.
Alright. My next question is, who is your favorite teacher at Alton, and can you tell me why?
Mr. Morris, because he's just a funny and down-to-earth dude.
Alright. And my last question is, if you had $1 million right now, what would you do with it?
I'd buy a Ferrari.
Why?
Because I like fast cars. And I would look good in the Alton parking lot.
Alright, thank you for your time today, sir. Alright, now I'm here with Anthony Reed, who is also a junior here at Alton Catholic. Anthony, how was the transition from Centralia to Alton?
It was pretty good, you know. I don't know, it was good. Longer than I wanted it to be. It was pretty good.
Alright. Anthony, do you participate in any Alton activities or sports?
Basketball.
Can you tell me about the season?
It's pretty good. It didn't go how we expected it to be, but it was good.
Okay. What jersey number are you?
13.
Does that mean something to you? Or is that just a number you chose?
It's my birthday.
It's your birthday? Yeah. January 3rd?
September 13th.
Alright.
Yeah.
Thanks for talking.
Thanks, Darius. Those are some pretty good questions.
I'm going to hand this off to Jerry so we're going to hear about this week's virtue, prudence.
Altoff, the virtue of the week is called perspective. Perspective is the strength to have true understanding and to relate important things. So how do I use that as an example of form? Well, to be honest, I use that like for basketball. I love, playing it, and it's very fun. And I try to it also motivates me to become better at my game. So it's a very perspective thing, and also with family, it's a very perspective thing because if you like a real true person and you love your family, you always will be there, and that will be the only main focus on your mind to help them out and get them on their feet. So, and I encourage others to follow in good footsteps by helping other people, by giving them strength and seeing if somebody not going perfect, like having a perfect day, you talk to that person or help that person out, whatever they need, because it's the important things, it's the little things that makes it the important things. Thank you, Althoff. Back to you.
Thanks, Jerion. I'm going to hand this off to Jet now so we can hear more about upcoming events here at Althoff.
Thanks, guys. On Thursday, March 14th, we have Career Day. Third quarter ends on Friday, March 8th, so the last and final quarter will begin on Monday. On March 13th, varsity baseball has their first game at 7 o'clock in Freeburg. Last year, they made it to the sectionals and hopefully go even farther this year. On Monday, the 11th, the girls soccer team has their first game at home. Girls softball has their first game on Tuesday, home against Muscuda. So pop out and watch the girls softball.
Thank you, Jet.
Well, that wraps up our broadcast if you made it this long.
Make sure to follow us on all of our social media. Our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook handles are all Althoff Catholic.
Very creative. Thank you, students, staff, teachers, alum, and we'll all see you next week on CBN.